It's Sports Frenzy! Sports Frenzy!
What's up, Frenzy Head Nation? Coach Cole and Jamie Rose here with you this week for the recap show. Season 7, Episode 8. And looks like Rose is wearing all the armor this week.
It is! It is!
He got a squeaker game, folks. He's excited.
I am. So that makes me 2 for 6 this season. I'll be better when I become 500 on this guy.
As we film the show, it is also Halloween night, so happy Halloween to everyone out there.
Now remember, Tim, we can't do as scary as we did a few years ago. A few years ago, Tim and I decided to do a scary Halloween intro. I think we shut off all of our lights, and I think we put on like strobe lights, and we were talking like this.
I don't think we had a strobe light. We had something else because we know strobe lights do the.
Oh yes, the bad thing for people. Yes.
We had like a. You had like a light. We did like I think we just shut our light on and off or something, like created like a thunder and lightning like effect or somehow.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think I just went to the main light switch there for the room and just kept flickering it on and on.
I wonder if we still have that episode up. We'll have to look it up and see.
Oh yeah, we do somewhere. It's back in the archives.
It's right in the archives. We'll have to look it up. Maybe post that issue or something. I don't know. We'll see.
Go back. You know what Tim and I will be doing now tonight? We're going to be scrolling back and looking because I think that was on Halloween itself.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's probably like Halloween 2012 or something like that. Season 2, Episode 4.
It was a ways back. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. I was probably 30 pounds lighter. So.
And I might have been 30 pounds heavier. So.
All right. Well, let's get into these this recap here. I got trick or treaters coming here in a few minutes. So I'm going to be hearing ding dong.
Trick or treat.
So what you're going to be hearing here in a minute.
We want candy, candy, candy.
All right, opening up with high school playoff. Candy. Cool, candy. High school playoff football here. This is Adrian versus Grosse Isle. Adrian getting the upset 27-20 in overtime. And Tim is. I feel like I should get some music on here for Tim. Oh, I thought you were getting ready to take your Green Lantern shirt off there and have Adrian gear on or something.
Oh no, I don't have any Adrian gear. I am the great Cornholio.
Oh. That's the one thing I always forget, how uncomfortable these bells can be.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy.
All right. Next up on our list, that'll be the kids tomorrow when they have too much candy.
Yeah. Back flipping off the wall.
We have, just as what we expected, a very hard-fought game in Sand Creek between the Aggies and the Clinton Redskins. But in the end, Sand Creek pulls away with the win, 12-7.
Here's the funny part. That's the exact same score on September 30th that these two teams faced.
It is!
Exact to the point.
They also had a delay in their game because the lights went out in Sand Creek.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, they lost power, so...
That's an issue.
I haven't seen the whole schedules yet for the upcoming week, but I do know the one I did hear today was Sand Creek will be facing Hudson this week.
Ooh.
Yes, but I haven't heard any of the other games yet. So.
Well, I'm sure you noticed I didn't get you the picks. I always try to get Tim on Monday the picks for this week so he can get the logos all ready to go because that takes quite a bit of time to sort them and figure out which ones he needs. So far, I have 7 games. It was a busy day at work for me, so I didn't get to all of them. So I'll try to get that to you tomorrow there, Tim.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Next up, speaking of Hudson, Hudson gets the, where is it? Destruction of Detroit Delta Prep.
Yes, indeed. Wow.
Hudson destroys Detroit Delta Prep 43-0.
Impressive. Very impressive. Next up, we had another great game, actually. This game ended in overtime with Morenci getting the win, 27-24.
In overtime.
In overtime, yes.
Next up, I'm going to have to give it the Ida destroys Stockbridge 42-14.
Yeah, I thought that would be a better game than that, but of course Ida had a better record anyway, so. And Columbia Central loses a heartbreaker to Southfield Bradford 38-33.
Yes.
Strike 3, you're out.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd.
Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if we ever come back, so it's root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. It is a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the ball game. Dun, 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 dun. Now, Rose, is this one going to be wrapped up by the time we do the Picks edition, you think?
I think it will be. Yeah, there's the series is 3-2, so I think by Friday I would have to say that the series is wrapped up. So I think this is the last baseball we'll be talking about for 2016. But anyways, the Cleveland Indians shut out the Chicago Cubs 1-0. But hold the phone. The Cubs won last night.
They did.
So the series is Cleveland is up 3-2. So do you think that the Cubs will be able to battle back to win the World Series?
Depends how many more games Jim Harbaugh goes to, I guess.
I know. Michigan's coach is going to be there tonight. He's a huge
Is he really?
Cubs fan. Yep. He is. It was funny. ESPN said he's a diehard Cubs fan, but they showed him like wearing, who was it? It was a Cubs hat, Detroit Tigers gear, and I think it was the Dodgers gear too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So.
He had on a Michigan jacket at one point too.
That's awesome.
It's a first 3-point bonus game. It's a first 3-point bonus game. Yeah. And we have Paul Bunyan has come home to Michigan. Yeah. Michigan gets it done. It wasn't pretty at some point, but Michigan gets it done 32-23 to bring Paul Bunyan home where he rightfully belongs.
Yeah, the fourth quarter, their defense was a little laxing, and I was kind of getting a little upset with them because
Rose was texting me, and he was getting a little worried like he always does. And I said,
it wasn't
Rose,
that I was getting worried. It just was that I was frustrated because I felt like they should have been playing better than they were.
I think they were starting to get tired. Plus, State found a few weaknesses in there, so they were taking advantage of that.
Yep.
But they got it done, and the nail in the coffin was the 2-point conversion that Michigan State tried, and Peppers ran it all the way back for a touchdown.
I'm sorry, that was I don't know what they were thinking doing that. They should have just kicked a field goal and tried for an onside kick, because even if they would have gotten that, they still had to score a touchdown. So I don't know if it was I think I heard an announcer say that they thought maybe it was trying to shorten the gap.
They said that, and they were saying that D'Antonio was trying to make a point that he could score on Michigan. Well, that kind of backfired on him a little bit.
Yep. Moving on, Washington defeats Utah 31-24.
Wisconsin gets a big win over Nebraska, 23-17.
Clemson squeaks by Florida State 37-24.
Miami of Ohio upsetting Eastern Michigan's run, 28-15. Get out of here, Pyro!
Goldberg! Oh, that's better. Minor league hockey for you guys. The Toledo Walleye squeaked by the Norfolk Admirals 3-2 in overtime.
The Grand Rapids Griffins fall to the Charlotte Checkers 4-2.
The Boston Bruins just hand Detroit their first loss in I think 5 games, 1-0 they won.
Yep. The Pittsburgh Penguins get a win over the Flyers 5-4.
The Detroit Lions, the Houston Texans squeaked by the Detroit Lions 20-13.
Just when you start thinking the Lions are getting over that hill, they slide back down.
It's my fault because I picked them.
You did say that.
I did.
Oh, this is nice. Oh, this game, your 9:30 a.m. game in London, England, ended in a tie after overtime, 27-27. You lucky fans out there, if you chose either one of these teams, you get a point.
You do. Yep. This is actually the second tie already of the season.
It is. And it's the first ever tie for a game not played in America.
It still drives me nuts to this day. It's like, I feel like they should continue to play until we have a winner.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't know how that works for. I still don't know how that works for the for playoff pictures.
Yeah, right.
Because well, these two teams aren't the greatest teams. I mean, right now they're basically 500.
Yeah.
Next up, the Chiefs defeat the Colts 30-14.
Go Chiefs. Three points. 3 points. 3 points. Yeah. The Atlanta Falcons did not get the Green Bay Packers 33-32.
While we're still on the NFL football, the other teams that tied the season was the Seattle Seahawks and the Arizona Cardinals tied. I'm not sure.
Like a week or so, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was long ago. Moving into some. There it is.
What the heck is going on over there? Jimmy Rose is his mug.
New Day Rocks. New Day Rocks.
New Day Rocks.
This was at Martinsville Speedway. Your top three drivers: Jimmy Johnson, number 1, Brad Kowalski, and Danny Hamlin.
If you got one of those three, you got a point.
Is there an echo in the building?
You like that? Now we got a little pay-per-view action for you.
We do. Well, Tim covers the pay-per-view action. I haven't. All I watched right now is the Roman Reigns versus Rusev match.
Hell in a Cell.
It wasn't too bad, that matchup.
This pay-per-view wasn't too bad, actually. I enjoyed most of it. It wasn't too bad.
So on a scale of 1 being the worst pay-per-view ever and 10 being the best you've ever seen, what do you give it, Tim?
The best I've ever seen, but I'll give it a 6.
Ooh, okay.
It was better than average. The first ever women's Hell in a Cell match one was kind of worth the entertainment. It wasn't your typical. They went out of their way to try to do things.
That's cool.
I think all the Hell in a Cell matches, though, here's the thing. Nobody broke open. There's no blood.
Rusev did have a little scratch on his arm, Tim.
Yeah, but I mean, as much as they're playing this up, at times they're like, "Oh my gosh, he just hit the steel part of the cage." I'm thinking, you can bounce off those cages pretty good without sustaining too much damage. I think those cages have a lot of play in them.
Yeah.
It's not like the old steel cage. Now, the old steel cage days, I feel like the old steel cages would have hurt. The blue cage, I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I've heard interviews. I've heard interviews of guys who, like Shawn Michaels, who've competed in steel cage matches with that blue bar. If you don't know what we're talking about, I'd say, what was that? Early 90s, when they'd have a steel cage, it wasn't like a fence cage.
It was actually made out of steel.
Yeah, they were like blue bars, and they were probably like this thick. And
almost like, I would almost say like what you'd see on a farm or something, like for like
cattle. Yeah.
Yeah, cattle gates or whatever. It was thick and it was hard and it was true steel.
Yeah. Well, from what I hear, that those did not have any give to them. Like if somebody threw you into it, it was not comfortable. It hurt.
Yeah.
Whereas like this nowadays steel cages with the fencing, that does have a little give to them.
It's just funny listening to the commentary and how they try and sell it so much. But I mean, it wasn't bad. I just wish they'd be more realistic with it again and let them bleed, you know, because it's like when you're getting hit in the head with the steps, I'm thinking you're going to see some blood there.
Yeah.
Getting thrown through tables, you're getting slammed into this thing, picked up and like jet rocketed into it. You're going to see some blood at some point.
Yep. Real quick before we get into the pay-per-view here, moving into the next round for NASCAR is Jimmy Johnson because he came in first. So we have this week Texas and next week Phoenix. So the top drivers, I believe how it works, the top drivers remaining in the field are automatically put into the championship 4. So Jimmy Johnson is in the championship 4. All right. I'll let you take the first match here, Tim.
So our first match had Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. Kevin Owens came away with the win, but of course he had to cheat his way to the win. And Chris Jericho ran down there and climbs in the cage and locks the cage up and wreaks havoc in the match to help take Seth Rollins out. So
yeah, that whole storyline, I don't get why all of a sudden now Kevin Owens or Chris Jericho now is all of a sudden his. I don't know.
I think they want to get away from. It looks to me like they're going to try and get away from Seth Rollins going after Kevin Owens for the title, and now they're going to build up a feud between him and Jericho.
Oh, okay.
Because Jericho came back into the ring after he was helping Kevin Owens get out, and they were heading back up the ramp. Jericho came back down and attacked Seth Rollins again before leaving, and then they played Jericho's music as he left.
No. There you go. The first ever women's championship match inside of Hell in a Cell. Charlotte comes away with the win, which I read something today where I guess people are tired of this. Charlotte wins the title at pay-per-views, and then here in a few nights, Sasha will win the title on Monday Night Raw. It's just this kind of passing the title back and forth, kind of.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess because of her legacy, so to speak.
I kind of hope that Charlotte will feud with somebody else now. Whether it's, Bayley or I don't know. So
I know Bayley's got a shot coming up no matter who has the title, so that could very well be it. And maybe they didn't want Bayley having to face Sasha Banks, so they want a kind of a good versus bad kind of situation.
Yeah. Your last match was Roman Reigns versus Rusev, and Roman Reigns gets the win. Pretty decent match. I was watching it this morning when I was having my breakfast. So, if you're curious, Tim, for NASCAR this week, Kyle Busch came in 5th place, and Kevin Harvick came in 20th.
Huh.
So, the rest of the pay-per-view, I'll try to remember the card off the top of my head. I know Bayley gets the win over Brooks.
Brian Kendrick won the title. Wasn't there? By faking injury.
Oh, well, it sounds like he's doing the whole dirty plan to get his victories.
He played on a fake injury and played on a friendship with him to take the title from him. So, yeah, because he was hurt, and he went down there to check on him, and he backed him up in the package and pinned him. So that's kind of what they did. I'm trying to think of New Day lost their match, but retained their titles because it was a disqualification. And
Gallows and Anderson defeat Swift.
Oh yes, that one I was surprised by. I don't know what they're doing there, but I'm really surprised they beat Swift.
And
was that it?
I think that was it for the pay-per-view.
Some of the matches felt rushed, like they were like Bayley's was fairly quick. But like I said, I gave it a 6 because it was fairly entertaining. So
Good.
It held my attention most of the night.
I'm looking forward to the next one. I think that's Survivor Series, because we'll have Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar.
Yes.
We'll have I think where they're having 3 traditional Survivor Series matches. I think it's Raw versus SmackDown.
It's going to be a 4-hour one too.
Oh wow!
They're going to start it at 7.
Wow. So yeah, they have the girls Raw versus the SmackDown Raw athletes, and then they're gonna have a tag SmackDown versus tag Raw, and then guys Raw versus SmackDown's Raw. So yeah, should be a pretty good one there.
They're still naming. Oh, they haven't named any of the rosters for that yet. They're still looking at who they're going to have individual wise.
I wonder if any titles will be defended.
Anyway, SmackDown I think might have determined some of their people already.
Yeah, well, they're the one who initiated the challenge there. So, good news coming back to you guys this week for the Picks edition. We will be having NBA action.
Yes, NBA action has returned.
Yes, it started this week, or I think might have started last week. I think
it started I want to say last Thursday night.
Yeah, but I failed miserably at getting them on the sheets there.
Well, we still had a lot of other stuff to cover, so that's cool.
Yeah, we're going to have high school playoff football action for you guys next week, and hockey like always, and NASCAR, NFL. This is I'd have to say this is the best time of the season for Sports Frenzy, because this is when we have everything going on. We have baseball, basketball, hockey, football, all that going on. NBA or NCAA football, high school football. So a lot of variety right now, which reminds me I need to look to see when arena football starts back up, and maybe try to get some more, get a little bit of lacrosse thrown back in here. Last time I looked, lacrosse hadn't started yet. It's kind of the off season for both indoor and outdoor. I
know, and this is hard for us to follow because there's so many matches and stuff, but upcoming here soon, I believe, is wrestling. The real wrestling. High school wrestling and stuff starts soon, I believe.
Yep.
It's right around the week or two before Thanksgiving that starts, because I always remembered my brother sometimes couldn't eat what he wanted to eat on Thanksgiving because he would have upcoming matches.
Yeah. The other thing with high school wrestling is always one of those tough ones, because
they have matches like every night.
Well, they have matches every night, but also getting the score sometimes can be tough for some of those games too. I think we tried covering girls softball a couple times, and even high school baseball. I think last year I put high school baseball on there, and MHSAA. Basically, the way that site works, and that's where we get a lot of our scores, at least I do, is the fans put the scores up there. So if the fans don't put the scores up there, then nobody knows who wins. Yeah,
I couldn't even find them. They didn't even have them posted real well on the Michigan sports page there.
Yeah, so we might be able to do like college wrestling, like Michigan or something like that. Another one I want to try to throw a couple more on is MMA fighting, a little bit of that, which I got to see when they're next, whether it's Bellator or UFC.
UFC's got a big one coming up sometime in November. I want to say like around the 20th, maybe. No, that's the next pay-per-view. So it's like maybe the 15th or something like that. It's somewhere around there.
Well, that's all I have for you guys this week. I think it was kind of a quiet weekend. Plus, I'm going to be hearing here in a second. So
candy.
Give me the candy.
All right, everybody. We'll see you again real soon for the Picks edition. Everybody have a great rest of their week, and we'll talk to you again real soon. I'm the coach. Be blessed, everyone.
And I'm Jamie.
And as always, go blue.
Go blue. And just because they got the W. Go blue!